allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Looking on here, we have no people wishing to speak. Is there anybody online, Carly, can you see that may want to speak outside of Mr. Otis? Nope. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So, we need to amend our agenda. So I need a motion to amend our agenda for tonight's meeting. Thank you, Ken.
Second.
Thank you. That's Steve, right? You say it. Thank you. All right. Any questions on the amendment? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. Next is approval of minutes from the 9/12/22 meeting, one for regular meeting, and also for the work session. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you. All right, is there any corrections to the minutes, guys, that you've seen? Either that or work session. If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. We now have the approval of our 2023 budget through 2025 capital plans. As you guys have in your board packet, the resolution to adopt the 2023 through 2034 bus replacement plan, and a resolution to adopt for appropriations and tax rate for the 2023 budget. I have a motion to approve the 2023 budgets A, B, and C as we speak.
I move we approve the 2023 budgets A, B, and C as presented.
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, a second, for the resolutions. Do you guys, Mr. Otis, do I need to state the resolutions?
No, you don't.
Okay, since we've already had our work session stuff on.
Right. Yep.
Thank you. Is there any questions from this point on any of the resolutions for the 2023 through 2025 capital projects, to adopt the 2023 through 2034 bus replacement plan, and then the ordinance for resolution for appropriations and tax rates, which was all at our work session. This session.
Our public meeting,
Public meeting.
and it's been posted online. I have not gotten any feedback
On off the line.
online.
All right. Hearing none. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, guys. Okay, next. Is reports. Ms. Circle, superintendent's up first, it says.
Yes, and Mr. Sims, I actually have him speaking today,
You just said you were up.
and then I passed it over.
She passed your
Is that how it works?
1.5 minutes to
Is that how
you.
it works? So I was asked to have some comments about Career Day, which was a week ago, right?
Yep.
Angela? We, as part of our school improvement plan, I think that was put in place like 3 years ago. Part of that was a pathway for all of our students to look at and be a part of what they possibly could do upon graduation. So this was kind of the culmination of what we wanted to do, and that was to send kids out, our students out, to actually have a view of what was happening in the world and things that they might be able to do upon graduation. The grant money was NCHS grant money, which was, I think you were part of that deal, and so was Mrs. Kirkwood, as far as the grant money. I think we had like, am I right in saying $160,000 over a 3-year period or something like
Right,
that?
we were able to use part of those funds to help pay for lunches. and
Correct,
food and stuff.
and we were able to use part of that as what we were doing and what we were trying to accomplish. Amy Tonzoni, who is obviously the director of our LMC, former English teacher, was a huge part of what we did. The organizational skills that she put together with a whole group of, I mean, it was like 40 or 50 individuals, was pretty incredible, really. It kind of blew my mind how many people were involved. And it was not only our own school community people, but it was parents, it was students, it was community members, it was business members, it was a whole plethora of people that were involved, which was really cool.
We had 15 business and community members show up to BizTown Finance Park at the Y in Lafayette to volunteer to run our kids through Finance Park. So 15 business owners. We had people from Edward Jones, we had people from First Farmers Bank in Monticello, someone from Wallman's came over, the health clinic. Just, I mean, I could not believe the response that we got from the community and our businesses to help us out with this.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible, really. And so we had a whole group, different groups going different places, obviously. There was literally no one left in the high school. I mean, we were all out. I was left there by myself, which was kind of peaceful, but at the same time, everybody was out doing something, which was pretty remarkable. So Mr. Walker took a group of people down to Vincennes University. There was about 10, 11, 12, 13 involved with that, going down there, ag stuff, as you might expect. The freshmen went to the Finance Park, junior achievement stuff at the Y in Lafayette. And they actually kind of were, Angela, you can speak better to this to me because you were on this trip, so go ahead.
So we had lessons that we had to do to make the kids familiar with basic budgeting prior to that, and so we had someone from Junior Achievement come in, and we did an online simulation with the kids to teach them what they would need to know. And then when they got there, they were handed an iPad, and on their iPad, they were given a persona. So like, I'm Larry, and I'm 39, and I have 3 kids, and I just lost my job, and they had to create a budget for a month, and then they got to buy stuff based on their budget, and then they got to actually go to the different businesses to purchase things once they got their budget. They had to apply for a mortgage, and they had to apply for an auto loan. Those were the stipulations. And then they also had to save like 2% of their money. And I can remember one kid was like, I'm bankrupt. I messed up a long time ago, and now I gotta go back and fix something. And so it was a very real world situation for them. I thought it was pretty incredible. And then, so the community members, like if Sims were there, he would have been the banker and, trying to help them through the loan process and that kind of thing, so.
Yeah, it was like literally living the life of an adult as a freshman in high school, so that was pretty cool. We sent a group to IU Kokomo, sent a group to Ivy Tech. I had students come back to me and say, Ivy Tech's not like you would think Ivy Tech is. I mean, it's a pretty incredible place at this point in time. We took a public service group Mr. Schimmel, I believe, took this group and they went to the jail here in town, ambulance service. I know they went up to Monticello to the new fire department. They had a sit-down discussion with Officer Dan Doolin, conservation officer. So all of those things were really good. They ended up, I think, at Purdue having a discussion, Army National Guard discussion, which was really cool. And then we sent a group, Mr. Allen took a group of kids to plumbers, pipe fitters, literally seven different types of trades, I think, that he put in front of them during the course of the day. We sent a group over to U.S. Aggregates, REMC here in town. And then they ended up, that same group ended up going into what used to be Fairfield, which is Dana Incorporated now. And then our life skills kids, we didn't even leave them out. They obviously needed to go someplace and do something locally, and they did that. They went to the hardware here in town. They also went to the post office to see how the post office actually operates as far as mailing stuff and what they do to sort mail. And then they also went to the local Pizza King, which was awesome, and they made their own pizzas. So they were pretty excited about that stuff. So
We took a group to Purdue, we took about 90 kids to
right,
Purdue.
right, and we took an entire group to Purdue that kids were like freaking out about some of the things that were going on at Purdue University as far as the open options of what they could do and everything that was happening. It was amazing to me that we had a number of kids that really had never even been to Kokomo. So, you know, it was pretty cool. Cool day. Money well spent, and I think the pathways that kids saw available to them was really good. Add anything?
No?
That's all I got. Questions?
Thank you.
Yeah, very good.
You got the rest of it?
Okay, very quickly, I have 7 items, but I will try to get very quickly through them, just things that we need to be aware of. There is a new for the DOE, it happened last year, it's called the funding floor. And the Indiana code requires school corporation to expand an amount for full-time teacher salaries that's not less than the amount equal to 45% of the state tuition support distributed to the school corporations. It does not include benefits, like it doesn't include benefits, and you have to be in front of the child the entire day. So a lot of our people who are on the collective bargaining unit, like our media specialists, our guidance counselors, they can't count in this formula. So many school corporations are not hitting this mark. So I just wanted to let you know we did pass. We had like 46.5. We had the same amount last year. It also is very tricky if you lose, like one of the school corporations I was talking to, they had several teachers retire, so they bring in new teachers, well, they're at the bottom of the scale. So take a guess what happens, they had passed the year before, but now they've got, less money being in, but still the same staffing. So there's a lot of arguments over that, so we didn't pass it.
Could I ask a question? What if we don't hit that? What happens
We
to
have
us
to
as a
write a
corporation?
waiver and explain why and how we're going to fix it. So I was talking to another school corporation, I won't say it out loud, but this was their second year they didn't hit it. And they were 10% below. So I was asking, what are you gonna do? And so he explained it's the waiver process. So basically it's slapped in it to pay for it. But they're talking about changing it because of not having benefits. Because I actually heard of some school corporations that went back and changed and gave more money to the teachers but took away their benefits to try to hit this mark. Well, that's great short term, you get more money, but then your benefits long term are not. It's not really an equitable solution, so. Our health insurance, thank goodness, it was a 2.5% increase. I was very nervous about it because it was going to be greater than that. I think Mr. Conroy was with Per our teacher collective bargaining unit, the corporation paid 2% and the employee pays 5%.
Point five.
I'm sorry,
0.5.
thank you, Tim. I can't read
Right.
my own thing.
We've been money on that.
Yeah, I say, you better check my math. No, I got it.
You got my attention, Mrs. Circle, so I'm.
0.5%. I did include both, and just right now, the pre and the post for you in terms of the impact. So I gave it to you just so you can see what we were last year for the premiums and what we're there this year.
Just as a comment, that is really a good thing for our school corporation and for our employees. It's just phenomenal. I was afraid it might be 4 or 5%.
I was worried more like 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to budget for about 7% because I was very nervous because if people don't know, we did not do an increase last year, which is what, the first time in how long?
I would say probably 10 or 15 years maybe,
Yeah, so
maybe longer.
so we did not do an increase last year for our Mace Trust. And so then stuff was really soaring and I was very concerned, so I was happy. I was worried. Field trips, just kind of, mention a couple things that we're doing because I'm trying to watch every single line item. We have opened the door of field trips with COVID, which has been wonderful, but I have learned that we went away from budgeting and making responsibility of paying bus drivers and the diesel fuel. When I first came here, we always had to make sure that that was factored into field trips. And we somehow got away from no one's paying for that. Well, that's an issue. Our bus fund, our line items for the busing is way over the budgeted amount. So we have, just in case you hear something from the staff members, we are making sure the bus drivers are included in the field trip fee and the mileage. We can't afford to absorb it, nor can we sit there and not budget it. I mean, I'm trying to make sure I know every single dime coming in and every dime going out. It's been kind of an open box for a while. E-learning versus virtual, and we're gonna have to come up with some policy on this, but it's the state has come back with right now that e-learning days, you may only have 3 of those in a school year. And those are what I call as their asynchronous. In other words, the child gets online, they get into the Google Classroom, they do the work, the teacher reads, answers questions, but there's no teacher-student interaction. So it's kind of like what we've been doing with e-learning. The state has said now you can only do 3 e-learning days. I made the change last year with the board to take out our e-learning PD days because of that. Virtual is what we were doing during COVID, where students are actually online, the teacher's online, the teacher's teaching. And the rule for virtual now is you must have 50% of the instruction that you would have in a normal school day has to be given online to count. The reason I'm talking about the differences is because it's completely different modes of instruction. The learning, we can only have 3, virtual are unlimited, but it's a lot more difficult for our staff and our students with virtual because they have to be online. So we are coming up with a policy to figure out how to do this because I know if we're doing virtual, we'll have to have our staff on campus. Many of them can't do the virtual from home. So just want to put that out there, that's gonna be a conversation coming up. But I also am not gonna burn 3 learning days in a row if we don't need to. If it's a fog delay, we can do, and it's safe to bring the teachers in, we can bring the teachers in and do virtual. When it's cold out, we've closed lots of times because of temperature, because of students on the bus. But we could still bring teachers in. So just be aware, we're gonna have to really look at this.
Anne Marie?
Yes.
LaPorte Schools just did one of those days as an in-service day, and 3 hours of it, like you said, were live. And I think a lot of parents were frustrated because they had to basically be there for the younger kids. So that was definitely a change for the parents.
Yeah, I know, that's why we're trying to really look at it and see what we can do. And then on that note, that rolls me right into my next topic, and that is the 2023 and the 2024 school calendar that we need to So we're gonna be putting it before the board next, month. But the big thing that really worried us was the lack of snow makeup days in there. So, we have a big blizzard, we can't just keep doing e-learning days now, it's not gonna happen. So we've gotta somehow secure the fact that we have days to make up if we need to. We hope not. So we moved graduation back, the calendar's been posted online. I haven't got any feedback until just recently when I sent out another reminder. And so because of that, graduation got moved back to the first weekend in June. So if you have questions or concerns, make sure that you're contacting me, but I don't know where else to squeeze in days to make up. So we've gotta have some cushion, because I don't think anyone's going to enjoy us sitting there moving graduation, which could happen. So that's my big concern. I'd rather be safe, but it's actually the same date as Carol's graduation. I told you, keep that great. Okay, and then finally, ASOP, that's our, attendance issue, and just to update the board, we now have all staff. Carly has worked endlessly, thank you, Carly. She has worked endlessly on making sure that all of our staff, including bus drivers, support staff, everyone is using ASOP so that we know who's in the buildings, and that it used to just be teachers, so just a while now. We are definitely using that software. Questions on any of that? Sorry, I erased the.
Okay. Next is principal reports. You, in your package, saw their reports. We do have a couple of them here. If you have any questions for them, I don't think they have a presentation at this point for any of that. But Mr. Hawks here, and I think Mr. Dale's back there, right?
No, Mr. Dale is.
Or Mr.
helping
Sims,
out.
of course. So, any questions from the board for them?
Miss Painters.
Ms. Painter, yes. Okay. We'll move on. Routine matters. I need a motion to approve routine matters 5A through F, and that would be for consent items, monthly payroll claims of about $1,779,185.72. The monthly financial report submitted by our treasurer and fund transfer reports in there. Employment of classified staff is D, and employment of ECA staff is C. D is mentors, E is resignations and terminations, and F is fundraisers for facility usage and any overnight or out-state bill pays. So if we could have a motion, and then if there's questions, we can discuss that. So if I could have a motion to approve matters 5A through F.
I move that we accept routine matters 5A through F as presented.
Thank you. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any questions for Mrs. Circle?
Mr. Smith, you have the updated.
Was that here? Yeah.
Okay, I do wanna make a comment though about the routine matters and consent items.
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yep, nope.
Okay. The monthly payroll and claims is like 1.7 million, and people are probably going, oh my gosh, if we're spending that monthly, what on earth are we doing? So I wanted to make sure you understand what is in that, because I would be thinking the same thing. Please realize that $250,000 of that was all grants, because September 30th was the last day to encumber any grant money that we hadn't used yet. So Ms. Stanberry is not here. I'd make fun of her, but man, she went to town. She's doing my Christmas shopping. So she was buying all the stuff for the life skills. So she was finishing out the special ed grant that was from last year. And then I was doing some with our NASP grant and our high ability grant. So that had to be spent. We had $500,000 of transfers is included in there. We had the buses was in that amount, so we bought 2 buses. And we had the Lucky, which the employees appreciated, but we had 3 payrolls this month. We've gotta keep track of that, so there's quite a bit of money in that, that's why it's, so I appreciate the 3rd payroll, but, you know, in terms of our budget, it's an expensive month.
So the grants basically would be the easy to lose.
Yes, we don't like to lose money, so
Any other questions for Mrs. Circle or our treasurer back here at this point? All right. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you guys. Okay, under new business. 6A, education consultant contract to hire Elizabeth Patterson for $30 an hour, no more than 8 hours a day, 10 hours a week, up to 120 hours or 12 days through basically the end of December. Ms. Circle, would you please explain a little bit more about that? Let me get a motion on it.
So moved.
Second. Okay, now that we got a motion, a second, would you
I'm
please?
actually gonna have Mr. Talk about that.
Oh, okay.
Mrs. Patterson is a former colleague of mine, a retired special ed teacher from Miami Elementary in Lafayette. And I was fortunate enough that she was getting bored in her retirement and she could come and help train our 2 new special ed teachers and their staffs. As we lost all of the staff at the elementary school except for 1 instruction assistant.
So this is basically to help the new hirees to.
Yes.
On special, because of special ed. Okay.
Precisely.
And how many of those were transitioning?
Both. Well, one is a licensed teacher transitioning to a special ed degree. The other is a licensed ABA therapist transitioning to being a special ed teacher.
Right. Any questions for Mr. Hoffman? Mr. Hoffman, maybe.
For Business Circle. No more than 8 hours per day or 10 hours a week.
So in other words, she can't just work 1 straight day.
Up to a maximum of 120 hours. And then it's got 12 days of principal.
So that factors out to 12 days, whatever they figured out, how many days she
Till
was.
the end of the semester.
Yeah.
And then Mrs. Stansberry and Mrs. Circle and I will reevaluate to see if we can beat something that needs to be completed or if they're ready to go on their own.
But that's what Steve's saying, it's no more than 8 hours a day.
It's written a little funny that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Or 10 hours a week, then 120,
It's not really 12 days.
12
It'd be
days,
at
8
maximum.
days.
We probably could just done.
We
by
probably
week.
should have said 12
Yeah.
weeks, not 12 days.
Okay.
Yeah, she has to be at
Because that's
least-
why I'm gonna say there's 12 weeks in during this expand, so it should have been weeks instead of days.
That would probably be a better way to put it.
Okay.
Since it'll actually be 2 days per week, 12 weeks, 24 days.
Okay. Can I get amendment to the no more up to 120 hours over a 12-week period?
So moved.
Okay, thank you. All right. So, all right, thank you guys. Any more questions? Okay, hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, 6B, resolution for authorization for submission of HPA 1003, the flexibility waiver. Can I get a motion, a second, and then we'll,
So moved.
thank you,
Second.
thank you. Mrs. Circle, could you explain to me what the HEA 100 waiver is, please?
We actually did this waiver last year. It has to do with, counting instead of instructional hours for the week, or sorry, per day, we count the minutes for the entire week, because we actually have more minutes in the week. This actually is coming under that blanket of people with the free learning days. The state is really starting to monitor all of this stuff. So people who take more than 3 learning days are gonna have to go and they have to actually pre-file for this waiver. I filed it for our delayed start, that's why we, so, because we have one day where I think I'm short by 10 minutes. But if I count the week, we are very well within. And there's only one building, so you have to do this waiver each year, for being flexible on terminology. Yeah, it's in your back.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay. 6C, chiller repair for benchmark for $10,682.50. And this is chiller repair for the high school for $52.30.50. And for the elementary at $5,452 even. Again, for a total of $10,682.50. Can I get a motion, please, in a second?
So moved.
Thank you, Steve.
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any questions on? Is this a maintenance repair
No, it
or
was
is this?
actually repair,
repair?
which, that DCHS chiller technically services those middle schools. But yeah, we had a leak in that one, and then the elementary one needed some kind of oil, it's in here.
Right, I see.
Yeah, it specifically goes through, it's just the luck of us having both of them go down. Same time.
They were older.
The older ones are just. Well, they actually came in and did the work earlier, and they just billed us, so,
High school.
yeah, this was like 8/5, so this is August 5th on one of them, yeah. So I guess they decided they wanted their money.
It's nice to give us 60, 90 days.
So the work actually already completed.
Any other questions? Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, for school board information, internal transfers, as you see there. Public thank yous. We have multiple, very many donors to Camden and the elementary libraries in memory of Mr. Steve Carroll, somebody that was very dear to our heart, and his whole life was in education. And so it's great to see that in the memory of Mr. Carroll to our kids.
Sweet of their family.
Yes, yes, yes. 7C, middle school athletics. As Mr. Smith asked at our last meeting to actually start a discussion down the road. I think soccer was it, but honestly, as we talk, we need to look at this as not only soccer, the softball, and anything else. And I have asked Mr. Dale to, first of all, along with Mr. Smith, we've been having conversations with some of, even in the community and things like that, but to start drawing up a plan to what that may look like. Not only financially, if it can be a middle school and not a rec sport, is kind of the first thing. I don't want people to think we're dragging our feet because we wanna make sure we get this right. And so what we plan to do is, as soon as we get some more information, is then to meet, have a work session, like that with all the stakeholders. So we can sit there with the coaches, the parents, Mr. Dale. Unfortunately, I think Ms. Circle's gonna be off with, some medical on her knees. But we wanna keep moving forward, what this really would look like in the right thing. As Mrs. Circle said, we have, busing, cost of busing, the things in the past have been kind of swept under, where before, there used to be some things. So we need to look at the whole ball of wax, so to speak, to make sure it is not our intent as a board to do away with anything, just to do away with it. We did not originally, I think, basically when we made our, motion way back when, 2 or 3 years ago, I think we didn't do it right at that point, and the board was talking with, each, person that this is how we want to proceed, so we make sure we get it right. But we want all the people to be involved in this, right? And so, we're gonna be setting up a work session sometime here, as soon as we get some information. And we would very much request as big as crowd what we got here or bigger, so we can get that input, to what good really looks like. So, just for board information, because we're gonna be asking, for you to spend some more time and, be thinking about, what good may look like too. Anything else that you care to mention at this point?
Other than we just really need to look at all the dynamics and make sure we make the decision correctly. I think last time, we had 3 different plans for 3 different sports. It really just needs to be a unified decision with the sports.
Okay. Field trips there, as you see, and non-out of state, there's none out of state actually. There's, a lot, going on. You can take a look at that. Future dates and agenda items. I will go through these because I think there are some very important ones here. Tomorrow, National Honor Society induction at 7 p.m. at the high school Little Theater. Unfortunately, I've got to be out of town, and it's always one thing I always like trying to attend, and so hopefully someone else from the board can even slip in there on that. The 12th is the high school band concert in Little Theater at 6:30 p.m. We have plenty of room for all the public. Hopefully we see everybody there. It's always great to support our fine arts things. October 17th through the 21st. I think every teacher saying hooray right now, students and everybody. That is our October break after conferences this next week. October 24th through 28th. Please mark this down. This is the Red Ribbon Week. October 27th is another one that needs to be marked down. That's Sad Blood Drive in the auxiliary gym in the high school. Unfortunately, somebody like myself can't give blood, but if you weren't able to, I think that's good. That is true. I cannot give because of hepatitis that I've had in the past. DCES talent show, the elementary, 6:30 on 27th.
We hope for a big turnout then too.
Yes, we agree. We need to come at 6 minimum, get our seats, right?
I'd recommend 6.
Okay, thank you.
No reserve seating?
No reserve seating unless you'd like to donate to Mr. Hawks' school to help him out on some of the funds that they need. November 4th through 6th is the fall play, 7 p.m. on the 4th and 5th, and 2 p.m. on the 6th in a little theater. Another great thing be great to see the public and feel the fine arts like that. November 11th, this is something very dear to, I think, Delphi's corporation as a whole, because we have been doing this for a long time too, is our Veterans Day program. And so we appreciate the people that come and part of our giving back to the community. And, the people, need recognition.
Mr. Connor and Mr. Sims, do we have a time on that yet?
Yeah, it's gonna be, and Mr. Connor and I have been talking on this, but it's gonna be an all-school event again on November the 11th. It'll start at 9 o'clock. The community obviously is invited, and all of our veterans are invited. It will be back to normal again, so, which is a good thing. The other thing I would add, Kurt, is on October 21st, as of yesterday, our football team will be playing at home in the first round of the sectional against Denton Central on October 21st, so. But yes, the Veterans Day will be, we have, Mr. Congressman Jim Barrett coming to speak, so he's a Vietnam vet. It should be a great day.
Time is sectionals, Kevin,
7 o'clock.
and the veterans programs in the high school, yeah.
High school gym at 9 a.m. Everyone's invited. Everybody. It's loaded up.
And we like it if people, like we tell the kids, if their parents are veteran, their grandparents are a veteran, we love to have the veterans come so we can honor them.
Actually, Mr. Tonzoni is putting together a presentation video for us as we speak that we're going to put out to the public, basically inviting everyone. So he's got a group of kids working on that right now.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Connor, for doing this.
I'm not doing much.
No, you are. You always do.
All right. Board comments. It's that time. Dak?
I will start with thanking Mr. Sims for the explanation on the career day. I think that's probably one of the biggest things we can offer our high schoolers is an idea of what jobs, careers, what's out there. A lot of kids do not realize anything out there other than what their parents do. So I think that's great that these kids get to not only learn about it, but get out and see some of these things. Also, I think it's still very exciting, all the field trips and the things that we do that these kids get out to do. My kids have been out to some of these items, and it's so exciting to hear them come back with a fun-filled day of the things that they got to do outside of school. And I did see in an email, I want to congratulate Sarah Perry for her chance into regionals. That's always exciting to see our students excel in athletics. And I just want to invite everybody out to all the events that we have. Hopefully I can get to a couple of them, and we can all fill the little theater with all the exciting convocations that we have.
Mr. Myers?
I also would like to congratulate Sarah Perry on qualifying for regionals in cross country. Mrs. Circle, I would like to publicly thank you for all your work on the budget and stuff. Lastly, I will wish everybody a safe and happy fall break. I can believe we're there already.
Mr. Priest?
Yeah, well, 1/4 of the way down, I don't know whether it's going faster or just getting over, but it's real fast. I'd like to wish all of our students good luck on their PSAT test Wednesday. It's a big deal. It's stressful for the kids, but they'll be fine. The yearbook staff from last year did a phenomenal job. I've seen dozens of yearbooks in my career. I think that's one of the best put together yearbooks with all the fun pictures and captions in it that I've ever seen. So they did just a terrific job. Thank Mr. Sims for his career day presentation. And there was something in the middle school letter that I wrote about the positive behavior incentive program, and we had some community members who donated to that, and I'd like to read that to them and recognize them in public. That is in Security, Federal Savings Bank, Carroll White REMC, IFQ, Dairy Queen, Dr. Krause, Upper Room Youth Center, Brick and Mortar, Ed Foundation, and the Stonehouse Restaurant. And those 9 community members contributed to the program. Thank you very much.
I'd like to first thank everyone for attending the meeting tonight. Mr. Sims and Mrs. Bigler on their presentation for Career Day. Thought that was outstanding. I'd like to echo what Mr. Owens said about kids need to realize that there's more out there than that world than just possibly only going to college and then trying to figure out what they want to do. This gives them a chance to see right away what is out there. I'd like to thank all the donors that contributed to Steve Carroll's contributions to Delphi Community School Corporation. And he was quite a fixture here for many, many years. Congratulations to Sarah Perry and her accomplishments, and our football team. Want to recognize them. They're on the road to making a good comeback, and I wish them a lot of luck in the sectional. That's it. Oh, one more thing. I'd like to thank Brick and Mortar for this evening's meal down there. Very good, and it looked like it was well attended, so appreciate everybody coming out and trying to hopefully support our referendum.
Mr. Smith. Thank you. Thank you to everybody that's here this evening. We have a nice turnout. It is hard to believe we're wrapping up our first 9 weeks. I feel like we just started. No, I guess we kind of did, didn't we? But it's been, so I shouldn't even conjure this up, but it's been a great start to the school year with all the changes we've had and changes in administration and teachers and last minute adjustments. You know, I really got to commend our administrators and staff for just getting off to such a fantastic start. It really has been quite smooth, possibly one of the smoothest starts of the school year we've had. And I'm very scared saying that out loud. But I do want everybody to enjoy the fall break. For many, this is that transition time to get prepared, and it's a weather good school. It's a beautiful time of year, but a lot of activities, a lot of student activities. Lots of things coming up, so I do hope we get a good attendance at many of these events to recognize the achievements of our students. And again, thank you to our staff for everything they do every day for our corporation and our community.
I'm gonna take the easy way out and go with echoing, all of what my fellow board members stated earlier. But I also want to say that it has been a very good start to the school year, and there were a lot of changes. So a lot of people worked hard at that, and we really appreciate it. I guess it's a ditto for me too on everybody. I will say this, that there was several of us got to attend a conference for school board and superintendents, and there was a lot of good clinics that we got to attend, but the biggest thing I kind of pulled out of it was this, that we are actually on some of their suggestions ahead of the curve a little bit when it comes to some of our safety and things like that. We had a gal that her daughter was one of the students that got killed at Sandy Hook. And she came in, and just the simple things about they had to go out in the hall to lock the doors to keep somebody from coming in. And we're already past that. We already have that where our teachers don't have to get out in the hall. We've had a training one other time that we had some people come in and shoot off fake rounds in the building, so you knew what that sounded like. They were going out in the hall, she said, and looking to see which they became open targets. So there's a lot of things we've done. We've actually got a lot of new staff. That would be one thing I would like to see us.
We're actually gonna do an active shooter vote
Good.
coming up. I don't know when, but it's coming.
So those are things that you never say it's never going to happen to us. That is one thing I will never say. But we are proactive on that, and I think that just needs to be said. Outside that, though, honestly, it's been, like you said, a great start, and hopefully the next 9 weeks will be just as well. And we wish Mrs. Circle on her surgery to go well. Well, hey, people need to know.
So, anyway, with that, I have one more motion I need, guys.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Chris.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. There are documents here for the board to sign.